It's really cool because it records much more accurately than... Oh, shit.
Let's just get into it. The Warden is a boss version of the pan-kin-color elite enemy. His gimmick is throwing spears, including ones with bells attached. These bells summon a few adds, pan-archers and swordsmen. You can destroy them to stop them from being rung later. He also has some close-range melee moves that can definitely wreck you if you're not prepared. The arena can be used to put some distance between you and the boss. The outer ring is a great place to hold, as being here forces the boss to follow you. This helps shorten the distance between yourself and the bell spears that he throws. When the adds come in, deal with them ASAP, especially the archers. The melee units aren't too obnoxious, but the archers will silently chunk your health. Keep an ear out for him charging his spear throws too. It's easy to be distracted with the adds, causing you to get hit with a giant spear as punishment. Later in the fight, he will stand still and charge a move. This creates a wave that will ring any bells that haven't been destroyed. This can spawn a ton of adds if you've been ignoring them. An effective strategy, one that I've used before in my Broken Sword run, is staying really close to him. Maintaining close positioning prevents him from throwing any type of spear. This is risky, but very effective at preventing future add spawns. The less adds you have to deal with, the faster you can put them down. You want a tip for Stormcaller? Ethereal Orb and Hydrocoolant. These two consumables make the fight way easier. Less shock damage being dealt by the boss, and less fire damage being dealt by the bomb throwing adds. The boss himself has a few moves. A lightning projectile, which can be evaded easily. A ground lightning move that summons tracking projectiles. These can be shot or evaded by using the vault locations at the start of the arena. And finally, his lightning strike move. Here he floats around and summons rifts, which strike the ground with electricity. You can visually see the energy around where they'll strike. A few will typically spawn above you, so it's best when you see this move to quickly evade away. And don't forget about the adds. Glaive throwers, thunder tusks, and swordsmen. They'll spawn over the course of the fight, and can be a bit annoying. The thunder tusks especially. Thankfully, they drop easily. Rinse and repeat, and he'll be dead quickly. Onslaught is a boss version of the Blink Fiend Elite enemy. He blinks, he swings, he leaps. Whenever you see him teleport away, it's a safe bet he'll appear next to you. He appears in different poses depending on which move he's about to do. Memorizing these positions and the start of the attack animations is key to knowing how to correctly evade them. His horizontal slash can happen twice, so definitely watch out for that. Occasionally, he'll teleport away while the adds come in. Risen, Solars, and Pan Assassins. These guys are pretty easily taken out, especially with him out of the picture. Watch out for the Assassins. Their blinking can easily catch you off guard when fighting the other adds. Once he's back, just repeat the process. As for a tip, be careful around the arena's geometry. You can accidentally walk off a ledge and end up getting hit by an attack that may not easily be dodged due to the landing recovery. And that's all there really is to the fight. I wasn't sure how to start this segment for Skald and Sear. I wanted to make a joke or tell a personal experience about fighting them, but I just couldn't think of anything. These guys suck. Sear's too busy getting in your face that it literally costs him his life, while Skald is too busy being a coward halfway across the arena. Sear throws fireballs towards you, which can be shot down or just side-strafed. Occasionally, he'll also dive bomb you. I don't think I've ever been hit by this move. If you go to the upper bridge above the entrance, Skald will pretty much never reach you in time before you wipe the floor with Sear. Speaking of Skald, he shoots a fire crossbow. He can shoot once, or hop, and then shoot a burst of 3. Unlike Sear though, he's an actual threat with his damage. Even being near the bolts he fires will ignite you. For the love of God, bring Hydrocoolant. On higher difficulties, you can be killed so easily even from one shot. If by chance you've come across Keeper's Ring, throw it on. Maximizing your fire resistance makes this entire fight a non-issue. On the topic of fire, I know I show bosses' resistances on graphics at the start of their segments, but absolutely do not bring Hotshot or Spitfire. 50% fire resistance kills both of these options' damage. Back to Skald. Assuming Sear is dead, just use the environment to bait out his shots and retaliate. Do watch out for the occasional pair of Fleshopedes. Hunter's Mark works great at helping you keep track of both threats at this stage of the fight. Summons can also be a very good tool here, as they can go track down Skald as he's hiding behind cover. Next up is Nope. Wait. There's still one more. I was initially going to leave the Root Whore out of this video, mainly because I find him to be extremely easy, even on Apocalypse, but I did include Ancient Construct in the ROM video, so it's only fair. Technically, you fight the Root Whore twice. Once in the Many Faces Chamber, and then again at the Stuck Merchant. You only have to drop him to half health in the chamber, so I won't cover that section here. The real fight happens at the Deceased Merchant's Cart. He has a few moves: a Bomb Toss, a Ground Blast, and a 3-hit combo. Occasionally, some Infectors will spawn. They are basically just reskins of the Fleshopedes. The fight itself really isn't that bad. His huge weak spot and low health pool makes him kind of laughable. Just keep your distance and you'll be fine. Oh, and bring some Oilskin Tonic. Alright, let's talk about the Ravager. Getting it out of the way, the alternate kill, if you want to call it that, involves playing a song between these 5 bells in this order. The real fight is between you, him, and the small army he carries into the arena. That army being made of pan swordsmen and archers. The Ravager himself has a bunch of telegraphed moves: a Claw Lunge, a Biting Charge, a 3-hit combo, and a Lightning Slam. Occasionally he'll also run away to grab some adds. One of the best tips I can offer in this fight is to utilize the pillars. They can help block some shots from the archers. As soon as you see the Ravager flee, hide behind one. The second the archers have sight of you, they'll shoot, even before the Ravager lands. I recommend having a longer range setup for obvious reasons. Pick off the adds as they drop, and then return your focus. Explosive tools, such as Explosive Shot or the Hive Cannon, work wonders for clearing them off him. Later in the fight, he'll begin to use his Ground Slam move. Just like his melee attacks, it is very heavily telegraphed. The Claw Lunge and Bite are both fairly weak too. Even without defensive buffs on Apocalypse, you can tank one hit from them. The first 2 hits from his 3-hit combo actually hurt way worse. And that's all the advice I got. Nailing the evades on his lunge and bite make this fight way easier. Finally, we are at Totem Father. This boss has 2 behaviors that depends on which side of the totem outside the arena is set to. If the totem is blue, the boss will prefer to use ranged moves, and the adds will be pan swordsmen. If on red, he'll prefer melee moves, and the adds will be archers. In my opinion, the red form is way more challenging. I just hate pan archers, and having a swarm of them be called multiple times per fight sucks. So this big demon-faced monkey guy. He can throw a boulder, which is telegraphed, but moves very fast once thrown. He casts some electric projectiles. They come out faster than the boulder, but are slightly slower. He can jump towards the player and perform an electric slam. You'll have plenty of time to dodge this move, assuming you actually see him do it. While down here, he can actually double swipe with his claws and staff. Just expect he'll always do it every time he lands, and evade backwards. And finally, the reason behind his name, the totems. He'll alternate between placing a totem that summons adds, and one that summons a lightning blast above all players. Both totems should be taken out ASAP. Spitfire's flamethrower and Hotshot work wonders at this. The lightning blast summoned by them can deal a huge amount of damage. Same for his leap slam. Thankfully, ethereal orbs can severely reduce the damage they both deal. The add totem will be your downfall if not taken care of. This is doubly so for the archer variation. Just like the Ravager fight, make sure to utilize the pillars. They can provide cover between you and the Totem Father as you deal with the adds and totems. And that wraps up Yaesha. We only have one boss left from the vanilla game to cover. The final boss of the campaign, the Devourer and his root construct are all that stand between you and the credit screen. Phase 1 has you fighting the Dreamer and a few root devils. He has a mortar volley, heavily telegraphed but still deadly, a whirlwind spin that can hit multiple times. Stay away to avoid getting hit by this attack. A double slam, which creates directional tremors. As soon as you see him raise his right arm, prepare to dodge a second after he hits the ground. This move can easily insta-kill you on Apocalypse with no defensive buffs. Remember too that he slams twice. Finally, at half health, his Cyclone will get upgraded, and can now pull you towards the center. This finishes with a large ground slam that will definitely kill you if not avoided. Dreamer doesn't have too much health, and the devils that occasionally spawn in are very easily dispatched. The true challenge comes from the second phase. Calling it a challenge is a bit generous. Once you understand how the gimmick of the fight works, it's actually super easy. When you are first faced with Nightmare, he'll launch 3 volleys of bombs at you. If one of these hits you, you're dead. The stagger from the first will lock you in place, and the others will finish you off. The counter to this is just to stand really far away from him. Being far enough away allows you to easily sprint away from the volleys. After the third volley, you'll be banished to a Shadow Realm. Here you need to kill the devils that spawn to acquire stacks, as well as not die from the health drain. Be sure to pop a blood warp before heading in here. After a few seconds, some devils will begin to spawn. Here's a trick: you can force them to spawn near you if you look at the ground. Combine this with moving towards one of the walls, and you can kill them for easy stacks. Once you've reached a good amount of stacks, head through one of the portals. Be careful not to stay too long. Archers, brutes, shroud, and gorefist can show up. Take caution and back up when exiting, as you'll be closer to Nightmare, within hard to avoid volley territory. Now on to damaging him. Each stack gives your weapon shots a flat 1000 damage. This unfortunately means that slower firing weapons are left in the dirt. You need to deal a good chunk of damage to break Nightmare's shell. Weapons like the Sniper will perform way worse than something like the SMG. Mods like Swarm can also rip him apart. Once the Dreamer is exposed, shoot him for massive damage. The buff goes away at this point, so using slower weapons like the Sniper is actually encouraged to hit those sweet 7-digit numbers. If you manage to expose Dreamer, he'll be sent immediately back to the Shadow Realm. If not, you'll need to dodge 3 more volleys. Rinse and repeat, and you'll have beaten Remnant from the ashes. Now this one was a lot shorter than the previous videos. I'm really trying to get these last Remnant 1 videos out before Remnant 2 launches. I have a video related to the sequel I'd like to make, but we'll see how that turns out. The final planet is Resum. I can't wait for Harsgard to absolutely kick my ass. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Oh, and don't think I forgot Blink Thief. He just sucks. Want a tip for him? Kill him on normal.